Hi, my name is Shayna, and I'm an intuitive life coach and the creator of happinessexposed.com. And today I want to talk about routines, rituals, and habits that you can incorporate into your daily practice to set you up for success. All of the most successful and inspirational people that I have read about and learned about have these daily routines and habits that they swear by that have set them up for greatness. So, I want to talk about some habits that I've tried out and others I'm curious about because I think it's important that we talk about what our rituals and habits and routines are so we can see which ones are serving us and helping us and making our life better, which ones we can try out, maybe that will set us up for a better life, and also which ones aren't serving us, which ones are holding us back and, wasting our time. Because I'm sure there's plenty of things that all of us do that we don't realize are such time killers that, are actually draining our energy or putting us in a bad mood for that day. So my day starts a little slower than most people, I think, because I tend to be more of a night owl than a morning person. Most everyone who knows me knows this because I'm not the happiest person in the morning. And it takes me a long time to wake up usually, but it's something that I have been working on. And lately, what I do when I first wake up is snuggle with my cat for the first like 20 or 30 minutes while I'm laying in bed. And honestly, this just puts me in such a good mood, and I feel her love, and I'm connected to her, and it makes me want to be more loving and connected through the rest of my day. And by just waking up with a smile and with my heart full, it sets me up to have a great day, more days than not. So once I finally am awake enough to get out of bed, I go to the bathroom and brush my teeth and I wash my face just with water. And then I immediately go back and make my bed, which is actually one of those habits that I thought was a complete waste of time. If you ask my parents, I don't think I ever made my bed in their house unless they threatened to ground me or something because I just hated it. I thought it was so stupid. I thought nobody even sees my bed and why am I wasting this time like trying to make it all perfect just for me? But somebody told me a few years ago that they thought the same way that I did, and then one day they decided to try implementing this new habit, and it just made them a lot more like rigorous and determined and like motivated, and they had a lot better results in their life just from this one little change. So a few years ago, I was just like, all right, I can try this. Why not? And so I started making my bed every day, and it's funny, but it sets me up to be in a more productive mindset for the rest of the day. And it's like I already accomplished something. I already checked one little thing off my list. So it just gives me in the zone to like want to keep going and get things done. So once my bed's made, I usually go right to the kitchen and drink a full glass of water. And then I go and find my notebook and I write down my 5 intentions and actions that I want to complete that day. And I've actually written a blog post on this because I think this practice is so important. And I've seen so many results just because of this one change in my life. So I will post a link to that in the comments so you can check that out. But basically, the gist of it is you write down 5 action steps that you can physically complete yourself that day, which include, anything from writing emails, making phone calls, finishing the laundry, doing the dishes. And it's really great to include a couple that are little baby steps towards your bigger goals. So, like, if you're working on being healthier and more active, like you can include goals like I'm gonna go for a 20-minute run today, or I'm gonna make sure to eat some fruit today. So those can be your action steps. And then I write down 5 intentions for my day, which are things that I can't necessarily physically do myself, but they're things that I want to have happen. So I write down things like make a sale today, or have a new client call me out of the blue, or make a new connection with a new friend, or, all these different things that I can't necessarily just go out and have happen, but they're things that I want to have happen So I release them up to the universe, to God, to my higher self, so that they can create it. They can have it happen for me. So once I finish writing my intentions and actions for the day, I usually go back to the kitchen and drink a glass of water mixed with psyllium husk, which is a product that honestly it's really disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. It's like sawdust, but it's pure fiber basically. So what it does is it cleanses out your system and it just sets you up to detox that day, and like anything bad that's in your system will just be drawn out. It doesn't make you like run to the bathroom or anything, or at least it doesn't do that for me. It can actually help to regulate you if you have any issues with that, but it just sets up your metabolism to work so much better that day, I've found at least. And it kind of slows down my cravings for different foods. So I drink about a full glass of water with about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk mixed in there. And just make sure to drink it like right away, because otherwise it starts to expand and like turn into this jelly that you're not going to want to drink. So you want that to happen in your stomach, basically. So the minute you pour it, drink that down if you want to try this habit. And then I actually don't eat or drink anything else until noon, because I'm practicing intermittent fasting, which means I only eat between the hours of noon and 8 p.m. And the idea is to give your digestive system a break. So a lot of people think like you should be eating a lot during the day and it's healthier. And there's a lot of different beliefs, and maybe this won't resonate with you, and that's fine. But I found that it's really working for me to lose weight and be more energized and to eat more when I'm actually hungry rather than just eating to eat and like eating for emotional reasons or whatever it may be. So basically, when you're sleeping, your body is focusing all its energy on like healing and creating new cells and getting rid of cancer or any toxins in your body. And once you start eating, then your body has to focus almost all of its energy on digesting that food and making sure it gets the right nutrients to the right organs. And it just wastes so much of your energy to consume all this food that we eat every day. Which, like, I don't know what your daily routine is like, but I spend a lot of my day sitting because I'm in front of a computer, working, I'm on the phone, whatever it may be. So I don't really need to be taking in that many calories when I'm not exerting that much energy. So I found by just eating between noon and 8, my body is actually happier and more efficient and healthier. So this is a practice maybe you want to try. Maybe you think it's crazy. That's fine. So something else I'm practicing implementing more of in my daily routine is gratitude, which I'm actually wearing this shirt that my mom got me that says attitude of gratitude, which I think she kind of got as a joke because I did this personal development training program called Gratitude, and I tend to talk about gratitude a lot because of it. So she probably was making fun of me when she bought this, which I don't care because every time I wear it, I'm thinking of more things to be grateful for and what living a life of gratitude really is like. And the more you can practice being grateful, the more you realize how much you really have to be grateful for. I mean, it seems so silly, but there are days where I just want to whine and complain because I'm tired and I'm stressed out or whatever it may be. And then I think, like, there are literally people starving, homeless, jobless, all of these things, and I'm whining because I have to write a bunch of emails today. Like, what in the world? So, by being grateful, it puts you in a better perspective of, realizing everything that you really have in your life. Even if it's just the fact that you're healthy enough to be able to watch this video with your eyes and hear it with your ears, like you actually have those gifts and you can use them. I mean, that is something to be grateful for. So I'm definitely working on implementing more practices of gratitude in my daily practice. So a good way to do that is to journal. I like to write lists of like I am grateful for, and then I'll just ramble off like literally hundreds of things that I'm grateful for, including like my health, my money, my family, my boyfriend, my cat, my bed, my, whatever it is. I also, for a while, had an alarm set on my phone that went off every night where I would say 3 things that I was grateful for that day. And that was really fun. Actually, now I'm thinking I might start doing that again. I must have turned off the alarm and forgot about it. But it worked really well. And what was cool was I started doing it on my own. And then when I was around people, they'd be like, what was that alarm for? And I would share it with them. So, like, I was with my family a few times, and I would have everyone in the room say, what are you grateful for? Tell me 3 things. And you kind of put them on the spot, but everyone was so much happier after doing it. And I think, encouraging each other to realize that we have so many things to be grateful for is just a really awesome thing. Another awesome practice to incorporate in your daily routine is meditation. I definitely go in waves of meditating regularly and then forgetting to meditate for a few days in a row. But it's something that I think a lot of people find very daunting when they first try to meditate. But honestly, it's a practice, and it's a practice for everyone. I think even if you talk to a monk or someone who's been meditating their whole life, they would still say they struggle with it on some days. There's a lot of different ways to meditate, and I think a lot of people think of the one form where you completely try to shut off your mind and have no thoughts, which is really tough, especially if this is your first time practicing meditating. You don't realize how many thoughts are popping through your head constantly. So I usually recommend to people who are first trying to meditate one practice which I love, which is being still and letting your thoughts come up as they come up and not judging them. So this is a pretty tough practice on its own, but I usually find that I get so much clarity and so many answers and just like reassurance of my life when I do this practice. So I'll just try to sit there peacefully. I usually close my eyes, try to be somewhere where it's quiet and there's like little to no distractions. And I just let my thoughts come up. And usually the first 500 of them are like worries about the day. They're like, oh, I gotta remember to do this and finish that, and I gotta finish the laundry, and I gotta run my errands, and blah, blah, blah. So what I do is look at it, observe it, from a place of non-judgment. I just let it come up, I think about it and like experience it, and then I let it go. And a lot of times emotions will come up while I do this practice, and I take a second to feel whatever that emotion is. So if I'm sitting here and I'm, stressing about something, and then all of a sudden I'm anxious, I'll sit there and I'll feel the anxiety, and then I'll let it go. And by dealing with it in that moment, it just creates a clean slate for the day. It releases anything that's built up that, I would have otherwise carried around for who knows how long after that. But instead, I'm respecting and honoring those thoughts and emotions and feelings in the moment and moving on. And once I can get through the first, usually it takes like 10 minutes or so for me now of like letting all my thoughts come up and processing. It's not even processing, it's more just observing it all. Then answers just start flowing to me. Like, it's wild. But if I have been, worrying about certain things, like where I'm going to find my next clients, or like how I'm going to get this done, or whatever my like stresses are for that week, I'll just sit there, and once my mind is a little more quiet, all these solutions just start popping into my head, and all these ideas. And that's like where your inspiration and creativity lies, is in the silence. So meditation is amazing practice if you want to get things done in your life, which I don't know who doesn't. But if you want to create a beautiful existence, work on silencing your mind. So a habit that we all have is our diet. And I think it's important to regularly look at our diet and see if what we're eating is actually good for us, or if there's some changes we can make to it. So currently what I'm working on is eating more fruit and less processed foods, because I'm vegan, so I already don't eat any animal-based products, but I find myself still craving things like breads and pastas and things like cashew cheese and vegan butter, which is actually amazing. Um, and different things that might have, chemicals or additives or whatever kind of processing that I don't want in my body. So, my recent practice is incorporating more fruit and focusing on letting go of the processed food. So, I would love to hear about what kind of eating habits you have, what kind of dietary routines you have. So, if you want to comment below where you're at now or what kind of goals you have for your diet, I would love to hear them because nutrition is something that gets me really excited. And I love coaching people with that too. And one more ritual that I'll talk about today that might be a little different than most people is working on my garden. So I actually started growing my own food probably a few years ago now, and I started with just a couple little things like spices in my apartment on my balcony. But recently, it's grown a little more into like a tomato plant and some peppers and lettuce and all these different things that I'm trying to grow so that I can have fresh fruits and veggies at my fingertips whenever I want them. So it takes a lot of time and effort to get this going, and it's just like a daily thing I have to remember to go water the plants. But it's funny because sometimes I make it like a have to, or I'm dreading it, or I forget to, or whatever. And then sometimes I realize like I'm so grateful that I, first of all, have a yard that I can grow food in, and that I have the money and resources to be able to do this, and that I have the time and the space, and like I get to go outside every day and take care of my plants that I'm growing myself. And it turns into food that I get to eat that will nourish me to live a healthier, longer life. So there's different ways to look at everything, and all of your habits can be looked at through the filter of something that you get to be grateful for. So I would love to hear about whatever your routines and practices and habits are. And if you've heard of any other like amazing rituals or whatever it is that other people are implementing but you're curious about, definitely comment below, or you can share them in my Facebook group. If you're not already in it, just message me, reach out to me, and I'll add it to you if you can't find it. Thanks so much for watching this. I hope you got something out of it, and please let me know what other topics you're curious about or want to learn more about, and I will be sure to make a video for you. Have a great day. Bye!